and welcome to the maiden edition of Legislator of the Week. And I'm joined here by a honorable member representing Amac and Bwari Federal Constituency in the person of Honorable Joshua Chinedu Obika. It's good to have you here, sir.
Well, sometime in 1996, I was planning to relocate to Germany, and I came to Abuja. My senior sister, my elder sister, lives here, and to the glory of God, he's a director now in the National Assembly. And you remember in 1997, Abacha made it compulsory that all the civil servants living in Lagos should move down to Abuja. So with that, allocations were made to civil servants, some in Bwari and other places, and it happens that my sisters were staying in Chinedu Estate. And when I moved here, that trip was cancelled. I was unable to travel, and that was my first time in Abuja, and I decided that I like Abuja. I wanted to stay and start my life here in Abuja. And being a community person, I have been all my life. You know, wherever I find myself in each community, I volunteer myself, make myself available to the needs of the community, be it water issues, security, or something like that. I brought that to bear in the same estate where we lived then. That was Chinedu Estate. And because of that, after the death of Abacha, and some of the community leaders there, that it's a mixed community. You have the Yorubas, you have Igbos, you have ourselves, all tribes. They said if I can be able to be helping this estate in the, by running around to see that what they need for their day-to-day living are met, but why don't I run for an office since a new political dispensation is in place, coming up? I never thought about that, but I listened to them, and I went into that election, and I won. I won as a councillor to represent the people of Bwari in Abuja Municipal Area Council, and I served from 1999 to 2004. So that was how my political career started. I've been somebody that is concerned with my immediate community, I get involved in things. That is how it started. Not that I didn't read political science in school, but I'm concerned. I'm a concerned citizen. So wherever I find myself, I get involved to make sure that things are done and get them done right. So that has followed me. And since then, I've been contributing my quota to FCT in so many ways, even when I'm in the office and when I'm out of the office. So that is how it has been. That's how I got involved. And to the glory of God, I haven't gotten to this level of being a member House of Representatives. That is an evidence to show that my involvement continues to pay off, and we are still pushing, trying to make sure that things that are not, there, that are supposedly to be there, that we make sure that, that happens in our lifetime. Some of my colleagues here, when they talk about FCT, they talk to me as if FCT doesn't have a problem, that the federal government has done it all. But that's not the truth. That is the unfairest statement I've seen from some of my colleagues. Why? I have 22 electoral wards in Amac Bwari Federal Constituency. I can tell you not more than 9 of them are really receiving government attention as it's supposed to be. In FCT, we have schools without roof. We have communities without road. We have schools without chairs also. We have health centers that are not functional. Our primary health cares are almost to ground zero. So nothing is happening there. And these two areas are my two basic legislative agenda: health and education. Health and education is my primary legislative agenda, you know. So and these are the what is in the front burner now for me to make sure that inadequacies is corrected. Like presently, the primary school teachers in FCT are on strike. The LEA teachers, and that is very disheartening, because if you don't know, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the governor of Abuja. He delegates his power to the Minister of FCT, who administers the affairs of Federal Capital Territory. Even though that I'm not laying the blame all on the table of the current administration, because what has happened is a neglect that has piled up over the time. Most of the infrastructures that we have in FCT today were built by the military. It's not by the civilian administration. Most of these hospitals you see today in town, name them: Wuse Hospital, Maitama, Life Camp, Asokoro, all of them built by the military. So the civilian administration, the successive civilian administration has not really done much. And it's not just for the executive arms to be blamed when the people that are in the legislature before now are not speaking out to the power to tell them that something needs to be done. You need to expose the rot and the inadequacies that exist in FCT, like I said, in education, in health. You can't believe that till before now, FCT doesn't have a proper transportation master plan. So, and tell me, if a city like Abuja doesn't have that, what makes it a city? So a lot has been going on, and that is what we are pushing for now through legislative instrument to make sure that we get all these inadequacies corrected. Of course, it starts with budgeting to make sure that there is adequate provisions for to intervene in some of these areas that I'm talking about. Even that I was discussing with the LEA teachers yesterday, I said there are some certain things that cannot be able to be done by government right now, realistically. So there are some demands that you'll be making that you know that is not feasible. And if really you have the interest of the children you are teaching in heart, you have to really come down and let there be a dialogue so that you cannot get everything, neither you will be denied everything, so that our children can go back to school. And also in the terms of making sure that the minister understands the need to pay attention to our satellite towns and the rural communities is very important. It's not just about the city. If there's anything that needed to be done, this city needs to be decongested. Families are living here in the city, 2-bedroom. You see a man and a wife and 8 children. How do they fit in? But today, if we're able to do roads that lead to our rural communities or all these satellite towns, people will have an alternative. If there is a good transportation system that people can use to go to and fro from wherever they live inside the rural communities to the town, you see, people can move. Because look at this. If you can get 3-bedroom for 500 in Kawu, and you know there is a bus system that comes to Kawu every morning to bring people in and out, you will go to Kawu. One, apart from the house being cheap, you will be able to leverage that is a rural community. You can find 1 or 2 parcels of land and put up your vegetables there That will help to bring down the cost of your expenditure. And it's not just doing that road. Infrastructure, when it gets to that, everything about it is interwoven. If you have a good public school, you don't need to go and put your children in a private school. With that, the pressure on the men of the house will come down. Parents can be able to have a little relief. If you have a health center that works, if you have primary health care that works, so these are things that you put together and you say, yes, government is actually serving its people. So that is what people like me, who by the special grace of God find themselves in governance circle, is doing right now, pushing for all these things to be done, even when it was not done in the past. The minister that left office before His Excellency Barrister Yesim Wike was returning money to government coffers at the end of the year, while our children are studying under bare floor without a chair, where when it rains, there is no school, because actually there is no roof that can protect children from the rain. That is the situation we find ourselves. So on our own, we are doing, when I came in first in the office, there is a program we launched with an NGO, Reach a Child. We went to schools to distribute, educational materials. Because I tell you, some parents cannot even afford to buy books, not talk less of paying school fees of their children or something like that, And right now we are having about almost 2,000 bags that will be distributed to all the primary schools very soon. We are having like almost 10,000 exercise books that will be part of this distribution. These are things that we are doing at our own level. And in the budget of 2024, we have provided money also to intervene in some of these primary schools, renovations of the school, provisions of the school chairs, but that is a pinch of salt in an ocean. For me, I have made it clear that the Minister of FCT should declare state of emergency on education and health care in FCT, so that all the stakeholders will sit down and will discuss on how to start, because the rot in it is huge. It's huge. It will take years for us to be able to. And also, I am trying also to bring the private sector, people of good heart, who will on their own, carry out some of important renovations and other things in our schools as well. So these are part of the things that we are doing. And we are having a very huge medical outreach that will be coming on the 10th to 11th, and another one from 17th to 19th of the month. We are doing this to enable us to reach out. It's huge because it's not just to treat people or check their vital signs. People that have issues that require surgeries, both eye surgeries, both fibroid, but a lot of things will be tackled, because people are dying. People they are with this cement, but they don't have means to do that. We are targeting about 8,000 people in this recent medical outreach that we'll be carrying out. We have done other interventions in so many places, and we are doing, by next month also, we'll be coming with empowerment programs. We have done others before. We've been able to empower about 600 and something women, and we give them a token as a startup for, to start their own businesses. So, and we will continue on that. But I tell you, that is just a little to the number of the people that require this help and everything. This is the first time in the history of this office that a member representing it is having a constituency office, not just anyhow constituency office, a well-equipped constituency office where you go now and you see workers there, you bring a complaint, they take note of that, and will face it head on. This is the first time a member of the Federal House of Representatives is questioning even AEDC, Abuja Electrical Electrical what? Distribution Authority or something like that. So, first time company, this is the first time, because there is fraud everywhere. This is a private company, just like MTN. We don't pay MTN to come and demand mask in our communities. We don't pay MTN to buy diesel that they use to power their generators. So we shouldn't be the one buying poles and the transformers and buying electric cable for AEDC for their business. And unfortunately, some communities that have the transformer will have problem. For 2 years, nobody talks about it. So there is no attention being paid to the consumers. And there is nobody that speaks on their behalf. It was on my time here that we have the first workshop on consumer protection. And the Public Complaint Commission, which we invited during that program, has taken it up. In fact, there's a program that is coming up this month that I will be the chairman sharing it for them, because I was the one that first initiated it. So these are things that we do as legislators, because the law that made that company possible was legislated in this house. So we have right to oversight them and their activities. So these are some of the things that we've been doing. And that is the only way you can get close to your people. And I tell you, being that I started from the grassroots, I don't wait for my people to come. I go out. I meet my constituents. If you have one of the days that I will be having constituency visits, I will be happy for you people to come around. If you come to the constituency office, you will see as much as almost 200 people or more than that. And that is just the day that I'm seeing them in the office. It's not when I'm meeting them in the different villages and other areas. If you go online and see my activities, I'm not a member that sits on this chair or a member that people don't see only when you cite them on the plenaries. No, this is my job, and I live in my constituency. So I give that to myself, you know. A lizard fall from up and look left and right, and there's nobody to praise him. In not the said, I praise myself. So I think I'm trying to the best of my knowledge. When it comes to the issue of transparency, I think in the legislative arm of government, our own is an open record here. Everything that is to be done is there, out there in the budget for the constituents to see. So it's also their job to go out there and check if this is in the budget for them, assuming things that can be done through constituency projects. Has it been done? If it's not done, they are the one to question it. Just like I go out to question what the ministries supposed to do according to how it is represented in the budget. That is how constituents have rights and the mandate by Freedom of Information Act to go out there and find out these things, know what our legislator said he has put in our constituency budget. Has he done that? If he has not done that, what is holding it? Just like now, you know now that the budget has implementation started. So it's not our making. It's until the government have that resources to put in there. They were still on 2023 and the 2023 supplementary budget. But now we have started 2024. So I am requesting this from the citizens, from the constituents. Ask questions. Move out there. There cannot be a better government without people participating at the level where they find themselves. You can't just sit on the comfort of your house and just be accusing people or accusing government. What did you do? What is your own contribution? I am a legislator, I'm not a member of the executive. But I tell the executive that you've not done this, you have not done that. That is part of it. And that's why we call it democracy. Speaking the truth to the authority and to everybody that is concerned, that is the rewarding thing to me. Look at this. Before now, you know that Abuja, before Abuja was the idea to have Abuja as the federal capital city was conceived, there were indigenous people living here. And with the, how will I put it? The government made it that these people will be resettled so that it can give way for the development of Abuja. And that government plan has not worked the way it should have. Most of these people have not been compensated. Most of them has been displaced. The money made available for this was mismanaged and is still being mismanaged. So we are speaking out. And there is a lot of proposition that I'm having in amendments to different things. Like we are talking about, we have a resettlement and compensation department in Ministry of Federal Capital Territory. And to the best of my knowledge, it's not really achieving the goals that is being set up for. And it's because of some administrative inadequacies that is causing that. So we are using legislative instruments to get that corrected by enacting new laws that will replace the old one to give them more, how will I say it? To give the handlers of this project a more robust setup to be able to deliver on their mandate. So we are doing that. We are thinking of what is called the agency, to turn the department into an agency that have all other organs that will make it function better. We have like the scholarship, Abuja Scholarship Board. There's no law backing it. We are trying to make sure that things like that are corrected through legislation. We have Abuja Nursing School, which needs some kind of legislation to take a good shape in what it should be. We have in MFCT, you know, in Nigeria, all the states are represented in Federal Executive Council. In the states, all the local government are represented in the State Executive Council. So now in FCT, which the law says that it should be treated as if it were a state. So, but Abuja have mandate secretaries. That replaces commissioners because it's minister that will have that is administering Abuja. But in the selection of these mandate secretaries, it comes from the 6 geopolitical zone and some others that they have, you know, basically from the whoever Mr. President want to appoint to be part of it. But to me, I think that we are missing it. Each of the area council supposed to be represented again in that mandate secretary appointment so that they can be able to draw the attention of the minister, because most of the time, some of the ministers we have don't even have any connection with FCT, in the sense that some of them have not lived here. I'm not saying that if they are born here, but some of them have not lived here. So they don't really know the actual problem that we are facing in our rural communities. And that's why you have seen that the rural communities have not been able to get the kind of development that they should have because of lack of representation. So we want to use legislative instruments to make sure that we bring inclusivity into governance by having a proper representation. So all this is what is the job of a legislator. And our job is not like executive arm where you can just get up and get it done immediately. It follows through processes, and we are on it. Humanity. It's all about humanity, being a human and having empathy for others. When you are privileged to access on certain things, first thing that should come to your mind, this thing that I'm enjoying, are others having it too. That's what brought about having access road to rural community. That's what brought about having a good school. That's what brought about the good health care facilities that we're talking about today. So that is the drive. In the first place, if you don't have that drive, you have nothing to do with politics. People think that when you say, they have tagged politicians a bad name, but I tell everybody who cares to know, without politicians, what will you have? Then it's left for you as citizens to choose the better one for yourself. Even though we know that our electoral process in Nigeria is below expectation, but we have to rise up to this occasion. All of us demand, if there is anything that the Nigerian need most, is electoral process that is genuine. Because if the politicians that are seated in different offices knows that the only way they can come to that office is through genuine electoral process, a lot will change. And if you know that the people that brought you in can take you out, you will be consigned. You will do what they expect you to do. So, and that's why you see me up and down, because I'm genuinely elected. I'm the most voted press member in Nigeria. I got 201,000 votes to be elected as member of Federal House. I have colleagues here that came with 4,000 plus votes. You can understand what I'm talking about. So that's why I don't think that I will have time to play around with this. So this is a constituency that houses everybody. So it has a high interest. You cannot go and sit down. You must walk. You must prove yourself. So even if I want to be slow, the proximity has made it impossible for me to do so. So that's the truth about it. And that's the motivation. I'm a human being. Every human being being a politician or being elected does not take away my personal life away from me. You can find me in the kitchen. You're cooking, yes, I do that a lot. My mom ran something like a restaurant, and even my senior brother today have his own restaurant. My senior sister do have one, but she's late, passed away, so we have that. And I have my if you ask me, I'm proud to say that I didn't see the four walls of a university. I only have my diploma in business admin. But the highest education I've gotten for myself is exposure through traveling. So it's like a hobby for me. To travel to places, I learn from people that I meet. Exposure is the I will tell you is the form of the education that I got in life that I'm proud of and I'm still receiving up to today. I lived in the States from 2006 to 2012. But because of my passion for this country and knowing where I belong, I came back. So if you ask me, it's the only place I have lived. I have traveled to places, but it's one place I have lived that I'm in love with. I can call it a second home, as far as I'm concerned. And very recently, through my committee assignment, I was privileged to travel to Rwanda. And that changed a lot of things for me as an African. If they say that African countries are not doing well, I give it to Paul Kagame. He's a wonderful man. He has turned that country that has nothing into something. And he has been able to remold the citizens' thinking and mentality. You remember that Rwanda had an issue of genocide. And after genocide, today if you go to Rwanda, you have Tutsis and Hutus. But if you call any Rwandese and say, which tribe you belong to? You tell you, I'm a Rwandan. It's just like even in the city, even just when you are with them one-on-one, they have been able to manage to bring down this issue of ethnicity that is ravaging Nigeria till today. Have a good idea, put it out there. Somebody will say because you are from there or that, they will kill it, no matter how good that idea or genuine it might be. I think it's a major problem that we have in this country. Ethnicity has been the major, it has destroyed us. Let me use that word, and keep on destroying us. Ethnicity and religion. If we are able to do away with it, Nigeria can go far in so many fronts. Well, first of all, thank you people for giving me this opportunity. And I want you people in the press community to rise up to the occasion of what is happening in this country. We need people that will disseminate this news of what is actually going on in Nigeria. Our country is in problem. Believe it, things are not working right as it should be. Nigerians are facing a lot of hardship. So when I open my phone in the morning, like I said earlier, and see all that, even though that I know that is not part of what I should be doing at the time, but you are pressured. In any way that I can, I still reach out to the people. But we am calling on the president himself and the governors of states. Because one amazing thing that I don't see people do is that people focus on who is the president. Nobody talks about the governors who receives huge amount of money and is still business as usual. Nothing is being done in the states right now as we are talking about. Most states are just the way they are before. Subsidy, they said subsidy removal, which is not really true, because still we're still paying partly for the subsidy. And the inflation has risen up, things and still governors are not putting things. How many governors are working in their states to have an easy transportation for the people of their states? How many are there? How many governors are talking about housing in their states? How many governors are really focusing on agriculture as we speak today? Go to Abuja tomato market. Before morning the next day, half of what is brought in is rotten. Can't these state governors invest in food processing? Or calling, we have to do something different from what we are doing right now. People have to be innovative, and it's not happening. So, and who can keep these people on track? The press. That community should rise up to the occasion. And by God's grace, we pray for things to get better.